Whoa. Ah, man.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Brendan Miller here, back with another video. We are here again today to talk about another budget fishing lure that won't break the bank, but will catch you fish. Recently I made a video where I talked about this little tiny jig. It was relatively inexpensive and it was very, very effective. Needless to say, you guys really liked that video, so I thought I might make another video. So I was thinking about what other lures could I talk about that are inexpensive and that work really well, and that sparked my memory. Last summer I made a series on this channel called Bargain Bin Fishing Lures, and one of the lures that I featured in that series is this little puppy right here. This is a tiny little crankbait by Cotton Cordell. Like I mentioned, I have talked about this bait before, but I have not given it an in-depth look, so I thought this video would be a great opportunity to do so. If I read the actual name of this bait on the packaging, it's a little bit confusing. It says the CRD Wee Wounded Tiger Shad. I'm not really sure which one of those is the color of the bait and which one of those is the name, but nevertheless, it's a tiny little crankbait by Cotton Cordell. Upon a closer inspection of this bait, the first thing I notice is that the bait is shaped like a traditional shad, which I think is really cool. A lot of times, crankbaits this small go for more of a little bit of a minnow style, but this has a definite shad shape and pattern to it, which I think is unique and cool. The second thing I noticed about this bait is that it has a fairly long lip for a bait this size. Usually you have to spend a little more money to find a little bait like this that'll dive really deep, but this inexpensive lure has a nice long bill on it that will allow this bait to get down deeper than other cheap crankbaits in the price range. Beyond that, they come in a variety of different colors. I happen to have a craw color right here and a wounded, bleeding green shad color. And of course they come with 2 treble hooks, which are okay sharp. They're not the sharpest hooks in the world, but they'll definitely get the job done. So there you go. That is a basic overview of this bait, fairly simple and straightforward. Now, without further ado, let's take this bait out in the water and see if we can catch some fish. But before we do that, I want to take a little bit and talk about the sponsor of this video. This video is brought to you by the Ridge wallet right here. Now, what is the Ridge wallet? Well, it is a slim, industrial, lightweight wallet that's going to eliminate the huge bulge that other wallets give you in your pocket. For instance, this used to be my old wallet. Look at this thing. It's got a huge zipper on it. It's got Velcro, and it's just huge, and it is disgusting. Everybody nowadays is carrying around modern smartphones, but their wallets haven't really changed since the 90s. And big wallets like this just basically keep everything in an unorganized mess. Well, the Ridge wallet is here to change that. This little guy right here can carry up to 12 cards, and it also has a clip for cash. These wallets come in 30 colors, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium. I personally went for this matte blue titanium right here, and it looks really slick. This wallet also comes with RFID blocking technology to keep digital pickpockets from stealing your stuff. Not to mention, this wallet has over 30,000 5-star reviews online. I gotta say, guys, carrying around this wallet has been awesome. It's super thin, super lightweight, and it's such an upgrade from the big, bulky wallet I was carrying before. This wallet also comes with a lifetime warranty and a 45-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't like it within 45 days, you can send it back and you'll get a refund. Go to ridge.com/stayhooked and use my coupon code STAYHOOKED to get 10% off your first Ridge wallet. And again, thanks so much to Ridge for sponsoring this video. Alrighty guys, so I'm out here today fishing a new spot that I've been wanting to fish for a while. This is an urban creek right here. As you can see, there's a large bridge right here. There's also a busy road right there, and there's this really cool dam that kind of makes like an L shape right here. And this looks like a really good spot to do some fishing. It has been raining for the last couple of days, and the one thing that is surprising is that this river is actually still fairly clear. So that is a plus. There we go. Oh, had him right there. Had a fish. Looked like a little rock bass. Oh, there's a fish right there. Fish is after it. Got him. Right there. Boom, right at the bank. Come here, buddy. Alrighty, guys. First fish of the day. Alrighty, guys. First fish of the day on the little Walmart crankbait. Beautiful little smallmouth. He swirled on it right in that pool. I dragged it back through, and he absolutely ate it. That's a good sign. Let's get him back. Hopefully we can catch his bigger brother. Alrighty guys, decent start to the day. First smallmouth, not a huge one, but it's a good sign. It means there's definitely aggressive fish in here. This is like a good spot right in here. Nice little pool. Oh, there we go, got him. Oh, he threw the hook. That was another smallie. Wow, that fish is aggressive. Instant. Oh, oh, got one. That's a good one right there. Another smallie. Dude, these things fight hard. Look at that. Whoa, foul hooked him. That's why he was foul hooked, this little guy. That's why he was fighting so hard. Alrighty guys, second little smallmouth of the day. A little bit bigger than the last one. Beautiful fish, very aggressive. Let's put him back. See you, buddy. And away he goes. You know, every time I catch smallmouth, it always amazes me how much these fish can fight for their size. That fish is barely that big, but he was pulling like crazy. Whew, I'm getting excited. This looks like a great little spot. Little crankbait's doing some work. Let's see if we can get some more. All right, we're gonna climb this bank and see if we can get around the other side of the bridge. Oh, this looks like a great spot to fish, right along this wall. I think I can get down there and access that. I'm gonna kind of try and climb down this thing without damaging myself too much. It's basically just a sheer cliff down to the water. I'm gonna have to stand in the water, which I don't mind, as long as I can catch some fish. I'm gonna be able to parallel this wall, and it doesn't look like a lot of people have access to this spot to fish it. Money cast right there. Absolute money. Got him, yep, right there. Like clockwork, right along the wall. Boom. Ooh, a different species. All right, survived that. Caught one nice little fish. I honestly expected more fish to be down there, but it is what it is. Whoa, ah, man. Oh, I slammed my head. That trail's like mud. Ah, my, whew. Ah, that hurt. Great. Mud all around now. I was just thinking, what happens if I slip? And guess what? I slipped right there. Ah. Got this nice, deep, slow-moving water here. A lot of minnows. Ooh, ton of minnows up in here. Got him. Oh, that was a big fish. That was something good. That was a really good hit. Oh, here he come again. Got him right there. Rocco. Rocco. We got a Rocco. Boom, look at that. Beautiful little rock bass right there. Love the red eyes on these things. Absolutely hammered. That little Walmart bait. Right underneath this bridge right here. It's nice and shaded. He was hanging out right in there. So let's see if there's anything else hanging out. Got another one right there. That's a smallie. No, that's a rock bass. Never mind. Another Rocco. Boom. Just like that. About the same size as the last one. Absolutely pounded that bait. It's perfect. There we go. Another one. Another Rocco. Just like that. Pretty much a carbon copy of the last two. These things fight pretty good though. I wanna walk. Whoa, what's this? Someone's phone. It's a nice deep hole right here. Oh my goodness, big fish, big fish, big fish. Ooh, ooh, big fish, big smallie, or bigger I should say. Hang on, don't get off, don't get off. Ooh, that's a good smallie, that's a good smallie. Yes, that's what I've been looking for. Yes. Whew, that's the one I'm looking for right there, man. Now that's more like it, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Caught him right out by that stick right there. That's the biggest smallmouth of the day, probably go about a pound. Oh, that was exciting. That's the fish I was looking for. See you, buddy. Whew, feisty booger. He came right out from under that stick. That bait barely hit the water and he was on like a shot. That's fantastic. We finally got a decent sized smallie on that cheap little lure. I gotta say, it's pretty cool fishing on a bridge like this. You get a nice concrete pad you can walk around on. So that's why I caught that big smallmouth out of that section of the bridge, and I wanted to get to this other section and fish that, but the water's too deep right there, so I basically had to just come upstream, wade across, and hopefully I can slip in here where it's not too deep. This river's really shallow, as you can see. It's less than a foot deep right here, a couple inches of water. So I should be able to access this and fish it pretty effectively. There we go. Yep, another smallie right there. Boom. Instantly. That's a good one too. That's a nice fish. Look at that. Boom. About as big as the last one. Right in that current. These fish are so strong. A little smaller than the last one, but a nice fish nevertheless. See you, buddy. Very aggressive. As soon as that bait hit the water, he was on. Just like that. This little crankbait is doing work today, boys. So as you guys saw from that video, this little bait definitely catches fish. Had a great time out on the water, exploring a new location and catching some smallmouth. Anytime I get to wade a river and fish for smallmouth, it is just amazing. I love it so much. And needless to say, this little bait definitely pulled its weight. I threw this pretty much all day, and every fish you saw caught on camera was caught on this little bait. Alright, so what are my thoughts on this bait? Well, first of all, I want to talk about some of the downsides of this bait. First of all, the bill of this bait is kind of thin. I could very easily take it and snap it off. That being said, I did throw this bait around a lot. I was hitting rocks and I actually hit the bridge a couple times with it, and it did not snap off. I think that's just due to the fact that the bait is so light that when it actually hits something, it doesn't have a lot of momentum to actually snap the bill off. But that is one thing to keep in mind, is that the bill isn't as strong as other baits that are more expensive. The second thing I want to talk about this bait is the actual tracking of this bait. Now, like I mentioned, with small crankbaits, a lot of times it is hard to get them to track straight. And I gotta say, this bait performs better than most. I, for the most part, had great success just cranking it in and having it track straight. However, I wouldn't say that this bait is absolutely dead straight in the water. There are some times when it tends to want to run a little bit on its side, and if you hit a big rock or something under the water, sometimes the bait will actually kick up. Another thing that I found with this bait is that when you try to retrieve this bait really fast, if you really want to try and burn this thing in, it does not work. And I think that's fair to say for most small crankbaits. If you really try to burn them in, they just can't handle it and they'll flip up on their side. So in order to get this bait to have a really nice action and dive to the proper depth, you have to retrieve it at a slower retrieve, which is totally fine for me. Once I caught on to this little quirk, I was able to throw it out, fish it slow back to the bank, and the bait had a great action. It dove deep and it caught me plenty of fish. So that is one thing to keep in mind. So like I said, this bait is cheap, it's not perfect, and I don't know what the quality control is. So that is one thing to keep in mind. I did try a couple different models out of different packages, and I had one model that didn't really perform as well as I would like, so I tried to tune it, and it turned out being a big mess. But the other two models that I tried worked totally fine out of the box. Again, they're not perfect, but again, for this price point, I say they work great. Alright, last but not least, let's talk about the action of this bait. As you guys can see, this bait has an amazing action under the water. I absolutely love the action of this bait. That is one of the main things that drew me to this thing, that drew me to make a video about it, is the action is just so good. It's got a very unique side-to-side wobble. I think the design of the lure and the long bill give it this really unique action that you don't really see from other baits, at least other baits that I've tried in this size. And that is one of the main things I think that helped me catch so many fish in that river. That river was actually a fairly heavily fished area. I found all kinds of fishing lures and worm containers, but throwing a little bait like this that has such a good action in the water definitely helped me get the job done. I want to talk about the actual casting distance of this bait. I was able to cast this bait a decent distance. Now granted, I am using a 7-foot spinning rod setup with 10-pound test Power Pro braid, so the line is a very thin diameter and I have a nice long rod that I can whip this bait out. But yeah, I was very impressed with how far I could throw it, and that allowed me to get those long casts and those long retrieves that helped me to catch fish. So guys, in closing, I want to say that this bait is awesome. I love it a lot. I'm definitely going to be adding it to my tackle box. I might actually modify it a little bit and maybe add some more weight on the belly just so I can cast it a little bit farther. But overall, this thing is awesome, and for the price, I think this bait is a real steal. If you guys like to fish small creeks and rivers, or you like throwing small crankbaits for crappie and panfish, or you want something that's a little bit more finesse so you can fish more pressured bodies of water, check this bait out, give it a try, and you might be surprised. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys want to support the channel, check out the links in the description. I recently launched a new worm to my Signature Series lineup, the Spiked Worm. It is available now, as well as my original Signature Series swim baits. If you guys want to pick those up, obviously that helps support the channel, and you guys get some great lures that you can use to catch fish. Also, there's affiliate links down below to the gear that I use, as well as my merch. Again, I appreciate you guys watching so much, and as always, stay hooked. I'll see you later.